All right, guys, welcome to the 2011 Road to Olympia series. Jay Cutler here at Gold's Gym Flamingo, Las Vegas. 4-time Mr. Olympia, going on 5-time. We're here to do some back training today, so come on in, let's check it out, and you're gonna see how we're gonna back up our 5th title at the Mr. Olympia this year in 2011. Let's go. Pretty much I run through my workout the day prior when I plan like back training. So I kind of have an idea what I want to start with, and as I get in the gym I go by feel. But I have 2 different back days where one day I focus on a lot of rowing movements, the other day I focus on more pull-ups and pull-downs and what I call width exercises, whereas the rowing is more for thickness. I usually start with, a reverse pull-down movement always, and stretch the lats. And then, I do one exercise for width, and then I go into the rowing movements, full tilt. And you just go by feel from there through. I don't really have a choice. I kind of look around the gym, see what area is not so crowded, and pick and choose that way. I don't necessarily call my first sets the warm-up sets because I'm already warm when I get in the gym. I mean, I live in Las Vegas, summertime here. For me, it's pretty much a feel set. So I want to just kind of feel what the weight's going to do. Every day I'm stronger or weaker. So what I do this week may be different from the next week. So I really go by feel. It's not like, okay, pick a weight that I've done before. I really don't have a determined weight. Sometimes I start really light, sometimes I start heavier. My rep range is 8 to 12 repetitions always. I don't do much less than 8. I'm shooting for 10 to 12 most of the time, sometimes a little higher. But what I like to normally do is around 10 repetitions. That's what I usually aim for with that amount of weight that I can go not quite to failure, but I'm struggling to get that 10. For me, I just kind of go by feel. So sometimes I stop in the middle of the set just to regroup myself and say, okay, what am I stimulating here? Because sometimes when you get through those fast repetitions, I train quite explosive, and sometimes my form can get a little loose. So I like to stop in the middle and almost tighten things up a little bit, and then it's almost like starting the set over again, a little more stimulation, a little less body movement, body language to try to get that weight moving. Training for so long, there's so many things you can do for your back. I do a lot of different angles. I stimulate different areas of the back with every angle that I usually use. So back and legs are my hardest training body parts. Obviously the biggest body parts too. So I do focus on, hitting those areas twice a week a lot of times. Some touch up on both back and legs. I believe a strong back and a strong set of legs wins bodybuilding competitions. Everyone knows that. So I just feel that having those superior body parts is going to put me, for the number 5 title. Anything heavy, I usually wear a belt. Anything that twists my waist, I usually wear a belt. Anything that I'm bent over in a position where I feel that my back is going to be in a vulnerable position, I wear a belt. You notice on the pull-down movements and such that you don't put a lot of pressure on the waist, I don't wear a belt. So the belt is worn most body parts, but back especially, just because it's a lot of bent over movements. And it's a little safer for the lumbar region to have a little support there. I like to feel a little secure in the movement, so when it gets to heavy weights, I might wrap. I'm a big fan of wrist straps just because, it does take your mind off of, you losing your grip, especially when you watch me train, you'll see how much volume I do. Eventually your forearms start to give out with gripping that much for so long and that many exercises. You almost need those wrist straps to hold the heavier weights. what I like to do is a lot of back movements. If you really watch my hand position, if you reviewed the tapes, a lot of my movements is just hooked bars. So if I'm doing like bent rows, seated cable rows, one-arm dumbbell rows, you'll notice that it's never a solid hand grip on like a dumbbell or a bar or anything like that, barbell. You'll notice that I have a very loose grip and it's just a hook. And that's very difficult to do without using straps. So the straps come into play definitely at that point. Yeah, I mean, the rest period, I don't really like to take a lot of time unless I'm training extremely heavy. If I'm doing walking lunges for legs, or if I'm doing heavy squats, I might take 2-3 minutes. For me, I think, training with that, keep that intensity up. The 1 minute rest time is, 45 to 60 seconds seems to be sufficient, enough to catch my breath. But I like to stay in the set, so I don't wander too far. I don't create any conversation or vanish my thoughts too much from what is in front of me. So you'll notice when I stand there, I'm constantly thinking about the next set. But I watch the weight. I'm looking. I'm like, okay, is this going to be enough for the next set? And you'll notice a couple times I actually changed the weight even after I reset it after the set, because I felt, okay, I can a little stronger. Once I caught my breath a little bit, I knew I could do a little more weight, and then I just added weights. It's kind of, going by feel and, just keeping myself in the set. I just try to keep my mind not too focused on anything else other than what's going on the next set. Huge volume guy. I've always had great success with that. I believe just a lot of variety, that's what's going to build muscle mass. I go for the pump, I go for what fills the muscle. And a lot of these movements that I do, I see a lot of different areas in my back and a lot of other body parts, certain exercises that really stimulate that. And there's just things that I commonly like to do for back, and you saw a lot of those things today. It's not an uncommon thing to see me do between 30 to 40 sets for back total in one workout session. So for me, it's just routine. I've been doing the same thing since I was a kid. People may knock it, say it's too much, but I've achieved 4 Mr. Olympias doing the same thing. Supplements obviously are very, very handy for me, especially when I'm trying to burn down body fat and, of course, recoup a lot of nutrients that are lost through all the training. So specifically pre-contest, before I do my cardiovascular, I'm always using a fat burner such as Hydroxy-Cut Hardcore. I'm using a lot of branched chain aminos. So MuscleTech's new amino product is great for obviously recovering after. This is what I took after my workout today before I do my cardiovascular. Recovery for like glutamine products, sometimes such products such as like a Cell-Tech or Intravol while you're training to help keep the muscles full, keep the muscles active during your training when you're really depleted, when I get really down. I have some high carb days that I'm still able to use those kind of supplements, which a lot of bodybuilders don't get to use. It's going well, and I feel very, very strong going into this competition. I'd have to say I turned 38 actually tomorrow. I feel the best I've felt in my career at this point, which is pretty amazing because 38 is considered old to a lot of people, but I think in bodybuilding age, it's a fresh age. Don't count the old man out. All right, you guys seen how the back training's done? We're going for 5 times, remember that. So you guys saw the intensity, you saw the volume, you saw how it's done to be Mr. Olympia, okay? Phil Heath, I hope you're watching, by the way, because this is how it's done here in Las Vegas, and that title is staying in Las Vegas. So we'll see you guys next time. If you guys want to check out more information, check out MuscleTech.com, bodybuilding.com. Here we are, 4-time Mr. Olympia, Jay Cutler. 2011 Mr. Olympia, I will be the one. So we'll see you guys there.